What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Musa Gamer, and today we are on our Kingdom 2939 main account. And as you guys can see, we have past 7 opening in the next 24 hours, guys. So a day from this very minute, I'll most likely be streaming on the past 7, guys. So yeah, we'll be having some really fun. As you guys have seen in the past 5 or 6 videos that I posted about this hero Anthem, we're very well matched against our main opponent, Earth Camp, and I personally had a blast of the time. As a matter of fact, this KvK, I actually put this together in a single kind of, I'll say, a playlist where I actually put together all the kind of fighting footages, and those viewership has been really popping off compared to my other KvK videos. So I've been very grateful that everyone has been showing very high interest about my main KvK, especially around my Kangamchan 500,000 troop Kangamchan, how it performs on the field, on the swarming, and on everything, right? So I've been very grateful about it. As a matter of fact, this is the KvK that I got the most viewed video, which is where I actually send my Attila to zero some of the cities, guys. 200 million cities that we actually zeroed, and that has actually acquired about 13,000 views from my channel, which is the most viewed viewed video on my channel. So I would like to take a moment to give a special shout out for everyone who has high interest in this KvK on my main account. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at our past 7 opening, most likely how it's going to play out from my end, as I'm a rally and garrison lead for my kingdom, as well as the main rally and garrison lead for cavalry for our camp, right? There's not a single person probably within this entire KvK that has better cavalry set than I do, despite the fact that I made a little bit of mistake in the rerollings that you guys have seen. But yeah, I have fixed that mostly. So yeah, it should be pretty fun KvK for you guys to watch. But let's just first talk about this past 7 and how it is actually kind of located, I would say. Now, this past 7 is actually surrounded by this weird like mountain that kind of forms its own kind of wall, I would say. And that, in my opinion, puts us at a little bit of disadvantage, right? Because around this pass, the enemy can have so many different cities. You guys can see how many cities are actually planted around the pass itself, right? There's so many cities that can be actually teleported. There's so many teleport spots that are really nearby this pass, right? But from our end, although we have a lot of cities teleported in, there's still a little bit less, I would say, teleport spots that are closer to the past 7, guys. Look at this, right? There's about these many spots, these much area that they can actually, get to the pass within the probably a minute or 2, right? But for us, we only have like around this much territory that actually can be marched to pass within the minute or 2, right? So we have a little bit of pass environment disadvantage, nothing too crazy, but just wanted to give you a little bit of kind of shout out on how the environment is looking on the past 7 itself. As you guys can see, I'm at the very front line of this warfare. That means that I'm going to be main rallying or main garrisoning. As I said before, I have the best cavalry set in this KvK for our camp at the very least, right? So I'll go in and showcase my gear and armaments, and as well as my crystal tech in the later part of this video. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And here is what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. For pass 7, as soon as this pass is ready to be attacked from our end, most likely I'm going to be pass swarming as part of the pass swarming crew with my Achilles Subutai, guys, right? The reason why I'm using Achilles Subutai is simple. Is because when we are actually swarming the pass 4, when we are going into the zone 5 fights, yeah, Achilles Subutai did exceptionally well. As a matter of fact, one of the main reasons why we were doing really, really well in the earlier part of this Zone 5 was because we got through this pass a lot quicker than the enemy, right? And as probably the best cavalry player within our coalition, I think I should be part of that pass swarming crew, I'll say, with Achilles Subutai, guys. So most likely I'll be swarming the pass. Now, will I be garrisoning after we take the pass? Most likely not, for a couple reasons. For one, I'm not going to be able to actually garrison that with properly with Achilles Subutai, right? Achilles Subutai is good for pass swarming, but it's not really good for garrisoning, right? So unfortunately, that's not what I'm going to be using. I'm most likely going to have to march back to my city and then wait for whoever takes on the pass and then determine my role from there onward. Now, given that Scipio Aemilianus and Ivar basically destroys anything cavalry garrison, most likely my role as a rally and garrison lead, as the best rally garrison lead in cavalry, most likely I'm not going to be able to garrison, right? I most likely am not going to be able to garrison in the Alliance Fortress. Most likely I'm not going to be able to garrison at the pass. Now, what is my role here then? And my role is two things for this KvK. For one, rally anything that is archer garrison, right? With how powerful Wedge 2.0 has been, infantry rally has been apparently losing to a lot of archer Wedge 2.0 garrison. Namely, Dido Hector has been proven to be performing better against Scipio Aemilianus and Ivar, right? So if this pass is actually garrisoned with, from the enemy side, obviously, with Dido Hector, most likely I'll rally this with either Attila Subutai or Attila Achilles, depending on how much field do we have around the pass, okay? And then let's say if we actually capture this pass, and then they're rallying our pass, my role will be two things. One is to counter rally the enemy rally, right? Usually, the counter rallies do perform really, really well if it is anti-swarm, because it will be entering the enemy side of the pass most likely, and that is when my Attila Achilles or Attila Subutai does come into play, because Attila is naturally very, very anti-swarm, and Attila Achilles just destroys and shreds anything that is around them if it is in a rally garrison situation. So yeah, most likely I'm going to be counter rallying with Attila Achilles or Attila Subutai, depending on how much fuel that we have, right? And then if the enemy is not rallying our garrison, most likely my role will be to rally any archer garrisons. Now, would they have infantry garrisons on those alliance fortresses? That is possible. If they have Gorgo, Toku, Gorgo, Hector, anything that is infantry, I'm not going to be able to rally those. I may have to as an anti-swarm rally, but most likely I'm not going to be able to perform really, really positive. Most likely, if we are rallying those, then we will be rallying these as a distraction method, right? Because cavalry, at the end of the day, is not going to perform in this meta against any Gorgo Hector, Gorgo Toku, any of those garrisons. Cavalry rally do really, really bad, right? So yeah, and that's going to continue until we have a proper parry for our man Subutai, right? Because right now we're still using Attila as a primary commander for Attila Subutai, Attila Achilles rally, right? But once we have, let's say, I don't know, another Subutai that can actually perform really, really well on the rally side, which is going to be happening most likely in the next cavalry release, yeah, we have to still use Attila Subutai. And then until we have a proper parry, again, for Subutai, we're not going to be able to perform well against infantry garrison, period, right? It is not the meta for that, so it is what it is, right? So that's what we have most likely coming up for my role. And in the meantime, I'll also be field fighting, right? I'll probably have the towers around this pass with my siege march. And then also at the same time, I do have a lot of different marches that I have been working on for this KvK. So most likely I'm going to go ahead and use those for the field fighting as well. So that's most likely how my streams are going to play out from my end, right? Most likely going to only rally. Most likely not going to be able to garrison too much. And most likely going to perform really, really well on the counter rally side, right? So that's basically my role. And now, let's just go ahead and take a look at what we have in terms of my setup. And I have recently reached, first of all, I have recently reached VIP 19. That means that I have extra 5% attack that I did when I was fighting in the past 4 fighting, zone 5 fighting basically. And that I would say is a huge victory for my account because this is something that I've been trying to get on hit naturally. But unfortunately, I did make a little bit of mistake on the attack of my armaments very, very recently, which I fixed mostly. I'll show you in a bit, which I fixed mostly. But given that I have a little bit of mistake, I actually hit VIP 19 to kind of, back that up, right? So I have extra 5%, which is really, really good. VIP 19 is what you need to be, where you need to be as a proper rally and garrison lead in Season of Conquest, because it gives you that extra 5% attack that you can get anywhere. So yeah, I'm going to be rallying with VIP 19, which I'm very, very proud about. And there's a separate video about it if you guys want to check that out as well. And on top of that, I have the best cavalry gear set for rallying garrison lead with 2-piece KvK set, the best in-slot cavalry sets of the equipments, as well as horn and ring, iconic 5 credit. Now, going into my Delta formation, you guys can see that my Delta formation has gone through a little bit of change. And that is that I am missing 0.3% attack. And that is because I accidentally actually accepted a cavalry attack transmutation to 1.6% from 3% that I had before. And now I have re-rolled it back to 2.7% in the stream 2 days ago. But I'm still missing 0.3% compared to what I had at the beginning of the KvK. And most likely I'm going to go ahead and try to reroll this back up to 3% plus by the time that we do fight. But most likely it's not going to happen. We'll see what happens throughout the next 24 hours, right? But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But I do have 13.5% cavalry defense, right? And that is almost maxed out in terms of stats. Same thing with all damage. I have 7.7% all damage. That means I have 1.9% on 3 of the slots, and I have 2% all damage on this slot right here. So most likely I'm going to go ahead and try this honing stone. I'm going to try to use the honing stone on all 3 of my 1.9% all damage here, so that I can actually get that up to 8%, and then get that defense up to as much as 13.9% most likely, right? Because this one is missing 0.1%. Well, actually, I can actually get that defense up to 14%. Yeah, get that defense up to 14%. And as you guys know, defense is actually really, really valuable for cavalry, almost as valuable as health for cavalry at the end of the day. So having 14% defense and 8% all damage is gonna be crucial for this account. Now, despite having 1.7% of the attack missing, as per Davers tool, this set right here that I have currently is actually better than having 14% attack, 14% defense, and 14% health by about 1.9% of attack. So, because I have so high of all damage, that's possible, and I'm pretty proud of my set, right? So that's what I'm going to be using for my Kangam-chan. And while my Kangam-chan set is being used on my Attila Subutai or Attila Achilles on the rally, I do have my second cavalry set that I'll either use for Arthur and Hector on the field, or will be used as a garrison for either my city or anywhere around my city, basically, right? It could be the flag that I'm told to garrison at the end of the day with the second set, but this is my second cavalry set. Nothing too crazy, but it is still really, really good set. I have Iconic 4 on the helmet, weapon, chest piece, and pants for the extra damage to troops on the map, which is great for Garrison. Now, I am missing Iconic 4 on the Ring of Doom and Horn of Fury for my second cavalry set, and Iconic 5 on all the other things. That means it is not the perfect set that I should have for garrisoning, but it should still do the job as a city garrison equipment at the end of the day, right? And then my second cavalry set, armaments look pretty good, right? 3 legendary with 1 rare and 1 normal inscription, right? And this one right here, Rio 9's Chronicle, is really, really good. It's almost comparable to my first one, but only 0.4% defense lower. And Butterfly Effect, the stats are really, really bad, but it is Butterfly Effect, right? So I can't really not use this when I'm garrisoning with David Hector. So it is what it is. This is actually not bad at all. So that's what I'm using it. My Leoness Rampant, which is my flag, which has steel skin, has 10% stats. So it has very, very high rolls on the stats. This is what I used to use on my first set, but looks pretty nice, right? Pretty decent set for all 3 of those first 3 sets, with the exception of Butterfly Effect. I can actually reroll the stats, and my fourth one has Relentless, which is actually a rare inscription, and Shielded combined together, guys. And for your reference, about 1.8% of cavalry defense is about 1% of all, equivalent to 1% all damage. So in theory, these two combined together should be about 5% of combo damage dealt buff. A little bit less, but most likely. And then with that said, although the stats are pretty low on this should still do the job as almost half of a flurry, right? Or 2/3 of a flurry, right? So this should be a pretty good set. Probably the next best thing that you can have as next to the flurry, right? The legendary inscription. And yeah, that's what I'm running right now. And yeah, this should just be fine for city garrisoning, even when I'm rallying with my Attila Sultan. So that's basically what I have for my second set. And I'm going to be using Qin the standard stuff, 4-piece Dragon Breast set, Iconic 2 on the Iconic 2 on the weapon, and then Iconic 2 on the Glorious Goddess pants, as well as Iconic 1 on the boots, and have everything critted except for the ring, and have the Call of the Loyal for extra march speed, and have Wedge 1.0 because I don't have the conversion stones to spare on non-cavalry march at this point, right? At Wedge formation, I have Hunter, Fit, Brutal, Resistant, Hardy, which gives you a lot of stats, and has decent amount of stats on this as well. So this is pretty good set, I'll say, just in anyone's standard, but not amazing, right? Not rally or garrison class at the end of the day, obviously, right? And my Sun Tzu is running on pretty decent set as well. Iconic 4 critted Eternal Knight, has the Helm of the Conqueror, Iconic 1 critted, and then Hammer of the Sun and Moon, Iconic 2 critted, and then the Membraces of the Eternal Empire and 30 Boosts of Eternal Empire critted, and Drum and Horn, as I use this Sun Tzu Prime with Liu Che for the extra proc of the drum. That's what I'm using right now. I do have Arch, which is a big L, especially because I have special inscription on this one right here. And the reason why I didn't really transfer this to Pincer is, again, the same reason why I didn't really have Wedge 2.0 is because I need conversion stones. I need more conversion stones than I can ever imagine, right? If I want to convert 2 Delta sets into 2 Delta 2.0 sets, it's going to cost me, at the current set, it's going to cost me 75 conversion stones. And if I do ever end up getting a special inscription for my second cavalry set on the flurry side, I'll need to have 80 conversion stones basically prepare for everything, right? So I don't have spare conversion stones for infantry until I have 80 conversion stones, right? And then once I have 80 conversion stones, most likely Pincer 2.0 is going to come out, and I'll probably use the conversion stones for me to actually get Arch convert to not Pincer 1.0, but Pincer 2.0. So that's most likely what's going to happen. And yeah, that's what I have prepared for that. And my 5th march, I basically am using my siege as my 5th march. You guys can see that my siege march is using still a mix of Harvesters set, and I'm using John with Cordoba. Yeah, Cordoba di Gonzalo. And that's what I'm using for my siege setup. The reason why I'm using Johnny is because I thought Rage Generation was going to be more valuable than Gajamada's healing. And boy, I've never been so wrong in Rise of Kingdoms. But yeah, Gonzalo, I'm still building him. Eventually, I'll actually have him. Hey, look at that. I have him 5511, right? But Gonzalo's healing in Siege was actually really, really valuable. So yeah, I'm most likely gonna eventually transfer over to Gajamada. But right now, I'm using John as I have him expertise. I have V formation with ballistic for 3% all damage buff while in V formation, as well as line shot for 5% all damage buff while in V formation. Have decent stats, nothing too crazy. It is just there to support the field at the end of the day when I'm rallying a garrison in past 7 situation, right? So, yep. That is basically all I have for you, actually, in terms of the equipments and armaments for each of my marches. Now, let's just go ahead and take a look at my crystal tech. I know that a lot of the opponents of this KvK is looking at this, but I have nothing to hide because you probably shouldn't expect me to not have this maxed out, right? I have KvK tech basically maxed out on everything except for some of the siege setup, right? You guys can see that all damage taken reduction as well as bonus damage against each troop type is maxed out, except for siege. So if you guys are siege mains and you see my Attila Subutai rally, Attila Achilles rally, yeah, you can swarm with siege, but good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck with swarming my Attila with siege, because that's the only thing that I'm missing. I'm trying to get the surprise strike to level 10 so that I can swarm some rallying garrisons in the Kingsland, but that's about it. That's what I have. I've been working on a special concoction. I've been actually working on the missing KvK tech for the siege that is actually a prerequisite for that, right? And aside from that, I have everything maxed out, guys. Especially when it comes to cavalry, I had all of these maxed out probably into pack 6 opening when we were having altar fights, right? So, yep. That's what I have. I have nothing to hide. Most likely, this is where your rallying garrison list should be as well. If you're missing some all damage taken reduction and all damage dealt, if you're rallying garrison list missing any of these, I wouldn't join that rally, right? So that's basically what I have for Crystal Tech. Basically, all you need for you to be the maximum max tech KvK. Season of Conquest KvK rallying garrison at the end of the day, right? So that's what I have. All right. With that said, that's about it for what I have for you today. Again, big shout out for everyone who's been tuning in to my Heroic Anthem KvK. You guys have been awesome. And yep, I'm looking forward to this KvK past 7 opening within the next 24 hours, guys. Hopefully this was enjoyable for those of you who are watching this at your own time. And hopefully this is actually a very, very good video guide for you to actually take a look at before you actually watch my past 7 opening video footages that I'm going to upload after I actually go online on those. All right, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please go ahead and drop me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, guys. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next video, guys. Peace!